And here's the thing. It don't matter if you come from money. It don't matter if you come from the hood. You need to remove yourself from people in your family who you feel obligated to be loyal to, who are really taking advantage of stabbing you in the back every chance they get. People want to say family gonna be family. No, bitch, my distance is gonna be my distance. My respect is gonna be my respect. My love is gonna be my love. So family or not, don't go for that bullshit. You got people out here literally who will befriend you and treat you like family. And then you got family who will unfriend you and treat you like a fucking enemy. We don't got time for that. Surround yourself around people who choose you. Who choose you. Or they'll lose you.
One of my biggest regrets in life is figuring this out too late. I did not understand. See, I was raised to feel like family first. Family comes first. Everybody else you push to the side, right? I don't want to say push to the side, but that comes later. Your priority is with your family. And I learned, now that I am 42 years old, that you create your own family. It is a blessing if that family can be your blood family that you grew up with. But oftentimes, many times, that is not the case. And it's not talked about often enough. So I'm going to be here to tell y'all that if your family does not appreciate you, go create your own family. Let's start here. Let's start with parents. Haven't you heard many stories where, a dad will be absent or a mom will be absent and their step parent came in and took over? And I've met many friends where I didn't even know their step parent was not their biological parent, because it's not about blood. It's about the relationship. It's about the value. It's about figuring out who really cares about you. You can have family members that don't even know your personality well. You have family members who remember who you were when you were a child. They're so attached to the child version of you. They don't have a clue what you do for work, what shows you're into. They don't know what food you like to eat. They don't know how to give you good gifts because they don't know anything about you. Does that mean that they're bad people? No, not necessarily. Okay? So sometimes we have to separate the two. Sometimes we can't just sit back and say, somebody is a bad person because we don't mesh with them, and we don't, oil is not bad, water is not bad, but they don't mix. They don't mix. So find something else to do. Put some herbs in the oil, right? Put some herbs in the water. They work well with herbs. They just don't work well with each other, and that's all right. Doesn't make water bad. Doesn't make oil bad. I told my children this before, especially my youngest daughter. I told her, I said, listen, I don't remember exactly what she said to me, but it was something, kids always have a little something where they're learning friendships and they're learning how to navigate friendships. So I don't remember exactly what she said, so I don't even think it's relevant. But she came and told me something, and I told her, listen, if somebody doesn't want to hang with you, that's okay. That doesn't make them wrong. That doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make you wrong or bad, or it doesn't make you not fun or not smart enough or pretty enough or anything, tall enough, short enough. It doesn't make you anything. You don't belong at that table. Okay? And I gave her an example. Her big brother, he likes rice, and she doesn't like rice. She can't stand rice, and my son can eat rice and nothing else. He could just eat rice. And I told her, I said, there's obviously nothing wrong with rice, right? You don't like it. I leave it off your plate, but I give him, matter of fact, I give him your portion, because he loves it. There's nothing wrong with the rice. We just got to put it on the right plate. And that's what I told her. And I said, doesn't that make sense? I was like, so whenever you go to a playground and some kids are playing and you go over and you try to introduce yourself and they don't want to play with you, don't those kids, you understand mean when you see it, when somebody's being mean or when somebody's just simply a mean person, but that doesn't necessarily mean that anybody who rejects you is mean or bad. Take it in stride, chin up, and go and find your table. Go and find somebody who likes rice, who likes you. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you go over there, you'll find somebody who can't get enough of you. You might have to tell them, wait a minute, I need a break. Because they enjoy playing with you so much. They enjoy your company so much. Wait a minute. And that is so true. When it comes to family, I think we categorize things as good and bad way too much. Things are not necessarily good or bad all the time. Okay? Our family doesn't have to be bad. And the reason why that's important to point out is because, in my opinion, the reason why that's important to point out is because a lot of us have trouble separating ourselves from our families because we don't want to say they're bad, because we have great memories with them. They did make sacrifices for us. They did do nice things throughout our life. And so we have a lot of trouble saying, oh, I don't fit at this table anymore, because we have categorized things as good and bad. So we don't want to categorize our family as being bad. So we just stay in that environment, and then it hinders us from growing. It hinders us from moving on and moving forward to the people that do enjoy us, to the people and the places that do accept us, to the right plate, right? We don't go over and say, you know what, I'm going to leave this table, and I'm going to go find the table, we're going to keep saying rice for, just to make it plain, but I'm going to go find my rice table, right? Where I'm going to find my people that enjoy me. You don't have to tell yourself, oh, I'm too much, I have to play myself down. No. Now, that doesn't mean not to work on yourself. And I'm speaking to myself too. When I come on here and I talk and I have these conversations and I post these videos, I am talking to myself. So this is not me trying to be condescending or just pointing fingers. I am talking to myself. This is how I know these things, is because I experienced these things. I don't talk about anything that I haven't experienced, because that would be some nerve, right? That would be some kind of nerve. I'm only going to talk about it if I've experienced it. And I have experienced it. I have experienced being at the wrong table in friendships, in family settings, in work environments, in neighborhoods. Y'all, I live in this city, and when I tell you, some of you may know what city I live in, others don't. That's okay. But when I tell you, people flock to this city so frequently, and they absolutely love this city. And for a long time, I categorized this city as being bad. And I complained about it, and I didn't have to do that. I did not have to complain about how terrible this city was, because this city was not even that bad. It wasn't even that bad, like seriously. And I I don't know if you'll fully get it if you weren't there to hear all my complaints. It's like I had to justify to myself, like, I don't know. Anyway, I was saying the people are like this, and the weather is like that, and the streets are like this, and the schools are like that. And I mean, I just dogged it out. And because I dogged it out, I was miserable until I had the opportunity to remove myself. And you don't have to do that, because, like, if it takes you 2 years or 5 years to remove yourself, then you're miserable 2 years out of your life or 5 years out of your life, and that's horrible. You know, you don't have to make it bad. You might say, you know what? This city is not really a walkable city. I really enjoy walking. And if you enjoy walking and you live in the country, for example, then you're not going to enjoy your city because you can't walk anywhere, right? I'm sorry, my daughter came in and interrupted me, so lost my train of thought for a second. But okay, this city doesn't really have a lot of parks. It's not walkable. It doesn't have parks. I have children. My older children are big now, so we don't really need parks, but I still do have a young daughter, and we can't walk to the park. My older kids can't walk to the store and be independent because they have to depend on me driving, or I have to get 3 vehicles. As a single mom, I may not be able to get 3 vehicles, and so I'm going to have to lend my one and only car to my teens, or, which I don't mind doing. It's just that teens sometimes don't have the reflexes that you would have when you are more experienced. Not that anybody would do anything reckless, but I mean, I don't know that that's a responsible thing to do, is have one and only car and then let your teens just use it frequently. So I need a more walkable city. I personally need to be happy as well, and I enjoy walking to a cafe and grabbing a little iced coffee. I love bookstores. I want to be able to walk to bookstores. I want public transportation, not necessarily because I want to take it every day, but I want the option to take public transportation. Where I live in the South does not have public transportation, so if I want to go to a concert, if I want to go somewhere, everything is just so far and so spread out, and it's just it's so frustrating for me. But then you have older people who don't really get out and about much, and they enjoy it so much. They love it. And then you have anyway, I said all of that to say it's not about right or wrong, bad or good. It's about the individual and what is suitable for them. You know what I mean? One person's tradition, my ex-husband, I would go to his family's home, and they just had traditions that were so different. And I thought that their traditions were cute. I didn't do it like that growing up, but I had to look, and I saw, oh, I don't necessarily want to participate in that, but I think that's so cute that y'all do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. When my children get older, if they decide to get married and have families of their own, what will happen is they will do traditions that maybe we didn't do. Maybe they will carry on traditions that we had, but maybe they won't. Maybe they will create their own traditions. And it's not that mom's tradition or our tradition was bad. It's just that, oh, she did something, or I don't know, they may have just went ice skating one year just on a whim and decided to do that continuously, and now every Christmas they spend it ice skating. Who knows, whatever. So anyway, all that to say, stop making your family seem like they're bad unless they really are bad. If they really are bad, go no contact. is my recommendation. Cut them off, keep it moving. But if they're not really genuinely bad people, they just don't appreciate you. They might be a little bit selfish. They might have walked down a different path than you. Then it's okay. You can love them from a distance, and you can go and do the activities that you normally would do. That's why I think it's so amazing when people spend at least a few years alone. I know a lot of people don't like to do this, but I think everyone should spend a few years alone, not in a relationship, away from family. And when I say away from family, I don't necessarily mean like, going across the world. But I mean, hell, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I think people should have, like, I call it like your eat, love, pray isolation period. And when you have that time, you get to know yourself, and you can surround yourself and build a strong support system around not your aunties and them from your mom's best friend, your cousins, that's your mom's best friend's kids. Although those are great additions, if y'all appreciate each other and love each other, then sure, stay around those people. But sometimes just because it's your mom's best friend turned cousin doesn't mean that y'all are on the same spiritual walk or life journey. So with that being said, do all the things on your bucket list. If you wanted to do horseback riding, if you want to crochet, if you want to take some college courses, if you want to be a mechanic, or learn how to spray paint, or learn how to ski, guess what? When you start doing those little hobbies that you love, you're going to find your people. When you take time and you see what connection you have with God, you'll find your religion. And I bet it's super cool if your religion is the same religion that your parents had. It all works. But sometimes it's not. And that's okay, because this is your life and your soul and your spirit, and you have to walk your path, because you have the answer to God. He's not going to say, well, what did mommy say? What did daddy say? What your cousin say? No, you have the answer to God. That's your soul. When you're hurting, you have to pray. It's just you and God. When those bills are due, you have to pay. When you're lonely, you have to see who comforts you. When you're down and out, you might think, oh, I can call my brother, my sister, mom, dad. Sometimes those calls are going to go unanswered because those may not be your people. They did a good thing by bringing you into this world. But that might be where your story began and ended, is they brought you into this world, and that's enough to be thankful for, and that's enough to appreciate them for. And then you can live your journey with people who appreciate you, and then you can become the best version of yourself. And then the best version of yourself will produce a family who sees the best version of you, and in turn gets to see the best version of themselves. How does that sound? That sounds so much better than staying in a toxic environment. So I just wanted to share that with you all today, and hopefully that resonates with someone. If you want to leave a comment below and just let me know if you resonate with that, if that sounds like something you've been through, how did you work through it? Are you still going through it? Are you still making decisions on who should be in your life? I know that can be difficult, because we have a new awakening now that I don't think we had access to. So people are more emotionally intelligent these days, right? We have more access to information, and we have more psychologists who come online and share information. We have our peers who are also going through similar things. So we have a lot more information, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. Sometimes it could be good, sometimes it can be bad. It's all how you use it, and it's all about your intentions. But I feel like because we have that, I think it's such a blessing that we are able to communicate with other people who have gone through similar journeys, because you can look and you don't have to take everything at face value. See what works for you. Before I wrap this up, I'm gonna give y'all an example of something that I'm like, oh my God, I wish I knew that when I was younger. So I'm watching this, a creator, and this helps, it kind of ties into this in the sense that you can do things so I don't want to say out of ordinary, but out of the ordinary. But I guess you can say you can break traditions. You can break generational habits. That's what I'll say. So everybody that I know in my family, right? A lot of my friends as well, collect all these things and have like so many clothes and shoes and bags and things and gadgets and all this stuff. And it's like, if you think of a manager, right, and a woman usually is a manager of her household, whether she's single or married, typically she's the manager of her household when she's in a household, right? And think of all of that stuff that you have to manage when you have a lot of clothes, and then you have multiple kids. So now your kids have lots and lots of clothes and clips and hair bows and rubber bands and bracelets and earrings and all this stuff, right? It's just so much stuff. Cups and plates, just every time you see a new set, you just get it. And one thing that I was taught, and I tried to share this with some family members, but they weren't with it, because it's not, a lot of people don't want to change, and they're not wrong, but a lot of people don't want to change. And I said, you know what, I think I want to live a different life. I want to live like more minimalistic, to where I kind of have, not a uniform is a stretch, because you think uniform, you think cop, you think, Catholic school. I'm not talking about a uniform. Uniform meaning, think Steve Jobs. If you go to Google right now, stop what you're doing. Don't leave me, but go to Google and type in Steve Jobs right now, and he has a uniform. It is a black shirt, jeans, and white sneakers. Every single time. Mark Zuckerberg, he has the same uniform, and those just happen to be millionaires, billionaires. But people with less than $1 billion can still do the same concept, because it clears your mind. You don't have to think about cleaning it. Not saying you won't clean it. I'm just saying you don't have to say, oh, my blue turquoise shirt goes with my blue shoes and belts, so I must clean that shirt. Like, you just have a plethora of black shirts and blue jeans, and it really doesn't matter which one you throw on, because and on top of that, it's just one less thing you have to think of. Now, I'm not there all the way. I don't have a uniform, but I am working on it. I went from having so many clothes and shoes to downsizing little by little. I started to do it drastically at first, and then I was like, okay, whoa, slow down, Savannah. And so I started to do it more thoughtfully because I'm like, wait, I think you go from one extreme to the next. So I started to do it gradually. So now that I'm doing it gradually, I am trying to stick to more like neutral colors and things like that. And I'm going to rebuild it. Because I still want my dream is to have a classic pieces. Anyway, that's another video. We'll talk about that another time, but I enjoyed chatting with you today. Hopefully y'all will let me know in the comments how you have been handling, just becoming a new person and evolving and growing. And yeah,